Hello, and as I discussed before that we need to read couple of things which are absolutely necessary. One thing is our NPM, TypeScript, and you can say Visual Studio Code, and also there is a PNP. So what we will do is, as I said before, I will create couple of videos on that where you will learn the basic things. So we'll start from the basic. So in this particular video, I will show you how we can use Visual Studio Code. This is the free editor, and we can use this editor to modify files, to create some files. And on that, we will see basically how we can use that, because this is the code editor that we are going to use also when we'll discuss about the framework development. Now, to start with, so first of all, what is this Visual Studio Code? So Visual Studio Code is a free editor. So it's a source code editor, very lightweight, and which will run on the desktop. Maybe it is available on various operating system, Windows, Mac OS, Linux, everywhere it is available. And you will be able to modify the code. So it's a source code editor which you can use. And by default it has support for JavaScript, HTML, TypeScript, Node.js kind of things, but it has various extensions which you can add according to your requirement. For example, let's say you are working with C#.NET, then there are lot of extensions are available, and from there you can install it. I will show you how we can install that as well. But so similarly, let's say you are working with PHP, you are working with Python, you are working with TypeScript, any kind of JS, any kind of technology that you are working. So you will get a few extensions on that, and then you can install those extensions and then you can use it. So it support intelligence debugging, and it is extensible and customizable. So various extensions that I will also show you how we can use it. So first thing is we will see how we can install it. First of all, you need to install it to use it. I have already installed on that, but let me show you how from where you can install, and then you can start with. So I will just open a new window, and here I will just type code.visualstudio.com. So if you'll say code.visualstudio.com, and if you don't know the URL, it is fine. You can just search for Visual Studio Code. So I will search for Visual Studio Code, and you can see here, and you will get the link. So from here you can see this is the Visual Studio Code, code editing and different. It is like that. So you can just click on that, and you will be able to come up with the screen where you can download it. You can see here it is saying download for Windows, and if you have other versions, you can see you can download it. So you can click on this icon and you will be able to download the stable version on that. So once you will download it, it will give you a exe file which you can just say normal typical Windows application, like sorry, it's a Microsoft application. So just click on next, and you will be able to done, your installation will be done on that. So finally it will show you the Visual Studio whatever is there, so you can work on that. Or if you want to show me, I can probably show it, but you can try it out. It's not a very big deal on that. So once you install it, then we can access this code. For example, how we can do is I will search for here Visual Studio Code. Remember, there is a Windows Server 2016 machine. So you can install it on Windows 7, Windows 10, anywhere you will be able to install that. And so there is, if you'll see here, there are a couple of things you can see it here. If I'll search for Visual Studio, then you can see here it is showing me Visual Studio 2017 and Visual Studio Code. So there is difference between these two. If you'll see, Microsoft has product Visual Studio 2017, 2019 or 2015, where you can a lot of things are there on that. You can develop web application, you can develop Windows application, .NET Core application, you can add you can do application or apps development. So all these things you will be able to do um, in a IDE, so which is known as your Visual Studio IDE. Now, so what is the difference between these two? Visual Studio Code and Visual Studio whatever 2017 or 2019. So there is difference between two. When we talk about Visual Studio, let's say I will say I will create an application or ASP.NET application on that. So I'll have to use a I will have to use a IDE for that. Why that? Because when I will create a web application or ASP.NET MVC application or ASP.NET normal web form application or a Windows application or a console application, when you are creating application, it will create all the folders for you. It will add the necessary files for you. For example, web.config file, default.sp file, all these things it will add for you. And then if you'll see also you can just click on F5 debugging, everything is there on that. So it's a ID, complete ID, where you can build, publish, everything you can do. But when you are using a Visual Studio Code, it's a not just a text editor, imagine, but you can create a structure. You can, I will show you how you can create a workspace, things like that. But this is the major difference between these two. So code editor, yes, we can use this one. Let's say you want to normally if you'll see our SharePoint developers, we usually use HTML files or CSS files. We usually create that. So that means at the point of time I just want to create a HTML file or a CSS file. So I can go to Visual Studio Code. I will simply create a file and I will save the extension as .css and it will become a CSS file. And I will have the intelligence property where I will be able to know what are the properties are available on this class. Similarly for our JavaScript or for HTML, everything it is like that. So that time your Visual Studio Code will be very much helpful on that. So anyway, it's free, open source, so we can use it. So click on that, and once you open it, so it will open our Visual Studio Code, and I will show you a couple of things from that which you will be able to know how we can use it. So first thing, we should know what is exactly a workspace. So and then we will be able to know how we can create or how we can add a workspace, and then we will be able to see how we can create the files, what are the various settings that you can do. All these things we will check it. And now this is the home page or the welcome page. You can see here a couple of things are sections are there here. One thing is you can see here these are various icons are there. Here it will explore. That means you will be able to see all your excuse me, all your files, everything. And then this is the search where you will be able to search files or any text you will search, it will show which file it contains. That thing you will be able to do. Then here it is the source control. If you are connected to GitHub, then you will be able to know that. And then there is debug and extension. So we will see here how we can add extensions as well. So these are the things. And here down, if you'll see here, there is a settings also is there. So this is the settings you can see, and if we'll click on settings, we'll be able to see some more options on that. I will show that, so that also. And here if you'll see in this welcome page, I have a start section where you will be able to create new file, open folder, or add workspace folder. So these things we will be able to do. And here you will be able to see the recent file. So if I'll click on that, it will open this hello workspace folder or the file, everything. I'll get it here. Then if you want to know the tips and tricks, few links are there where from here you will be able to click and go there. And you can see here, if you want to every time see this welcome page, you can just click on that, else it will not show you the this page. If I'll uncheck it, it will not show me this welcome page every time I open Visual Studio Code. Here you will be able to customize something, settings, keyboard settings, themes, all these things you will be able to customize. If you want to learn a few things, you will be able to get it, you can learn it from here. Now before going to that, we'll see how we can change this color, theme, settings, all these things. But before that, let me just create a workspace folder. So this is it is saying add workspace folder. So this is actually a folder structure. You can imagine this way. A Visual Studio workspace is nothing but it's a collection of your folders and files. So let's say when you will open a Visual Studio IDE, when you will create, then it will create a project, and inside that you will be having folders, subfolders, files, images, everything will be there. So this is what is you are going to add a workspace folder, and within that you can add your files, you can add your folders. So it can also contain nested folders, subfolders, everything you can add over there. So how we can do that? So I will click on this add workspace folder, and if you'll see here, I will go to the desktop and I will create a folder here. Let's say I will say new folder, and I will say VS Code project work, something like that I will add, and I will say add it. So if you'll now see here, it created a folder on that. If you have an existing workspace folder, you can also open that, and this is, you can see here, it added this workspace folder for us. Now if I'll go to file, and you can see here, you can create new file, new window, you can open a workspace, you can open a folder, you can open recent closed files. So all these things you can do it from here. If you want to create, add a folder to a workspace, you can do this also here. So this is the file menu, and it has these options which you can, which will be helpful for to understand that. Now next thing, if you'll see here, you can create folders here. Suppose I want to add some images on that, I want to add a HTML file, I want to add a CSS file, you will be able to do those things over here as well. So how we can do this? Suppose I will, you can see here, this is the icons are available, file, then folder, and then you can refresh the folder, you can collapse all these options. So what I will do is, we can also right click and you can do, okay, so you can say right click, file, and folder, like this. If you are now trying just right click, you might not see this view in browser. I will show you how this came. Now I will say, let's say I will say new folder, I will click on new folder. You can see here it is asking for a folder to me. I can give a file name. Suppose I will say VS Code demo, uh, something like that, demo. I will say .html. So I will, you can just click on enter, and then you will be able to save it. You can see here it created one HTML file. So what I want to create a CSS file on that, so I'll select the top folder and then I'll add it. So I will say, let's say uh, style dot css, so it becomes a css file here. Now suppose I will create another file which will be, let's say .js file, so I will say my js dot js. So if you'll see here, so this is the js file has been added, and once you will add these files, you can see this is the file that you will be able to add it here. So now next what we will do is, we will see how we can write some code on this, and then we will see some extensions like this. We will discuss that. Now how we can write these things. So if you'll see here, now suppose this is my HTML file, and internally if you'll see, actually it created some folder inside that. Let me show you how exactly that project structure will be now, or how exactly this folder structure will be now. Now right click on this, you can see the folder, the workspace, right click on that, and then if you'll see here, you can go to open folder settings. You can copy relative path, you can do this, or if you will go to any file. So I will right click on this, and if you'll see here, there is a revile in Explorer is there, shift alt R, you can use this shortcut key also. So if you'll click on that, it will show the structure. You can see here, now we have created this visual VS Code project work, and you can see here these many files are there over here. So, and based on this, whatever the extensions we put, you can see here we are able to the file type becomes like this. So this is becomes a CSS file, this becomes a JS file. Now this is the structure how it is creating. So inside that folder. Now suppose here we want to add some HTML code over there. So how we can do this is, there are certain things are there which you will be able to use it here. So first of all, if I will show you how we can do this is, so suppose I want to write some HTML. So HTML, you need to write HTML, then head or body, everything. Instead of that, I will put this let me just put this mark, and then what I will do is, I will say you just hit the tab. So if you put the tab, since it's a HTML file, it added everything for all. You can see here this added everything. So your HTML doc type, head, everything, we don't need to write anything actually. So within that, you can change the title. Let's say I will say VS Code demo, something like that. I will add it here, and the moment you can see here, I'm writing, you can also see the properties over there. Now Next, what we will do is we can have a HTML, some other things also we can put. For example, there are certain things that you will be able to add is, um, suppose you want to add some h1 tag. So how we can do this? Normally we put h1 and then we write here, right? Suppose I will say h1 and then I will say hello world. Now, instead of that, what we can do is, instead of writing all these things, I will just type h1 and then I will press tab, or you can press enter also. So once you will put press tab or enter, you can see here it is adding h1 tag. So similarly, if I'll go, I will say h2 and either I will put tab or enter. You can see here h2 tag is coming over here. That means you don't need to really write the whole thing. Similarly, I will show you one more interesting thing. So suppose I have a paragraph tag and I want to add some something over there. So I will say P and then I will say enter it. It will create a paragraph tag on this. But it is not the end. So I will suppose I want to add a class over there. So usually what happened is we will say class, though it is providing us our intelligence property also, I will say my class. So usually type like this, but here how you can do it, suppose I will type p and I will say p then dot, I will say demo class. Once I do this, either I will press a tab or enter. You can see here it is adding the whole things p and then class demo. So I can just enter inside like demo HTML. So you can see here a demo VS code, something like that I'll write. So you can see how much actually, if you want, we can save the time over there. Lot of intelligence properties there. Lot of time we usually put eval li tags, or I want to write inside a li tag few of the things. For example, I will, how usually we write is, I will put li and then I'll put the end tag and then I will write here India, something like that. But now what I'll do is I will put li and then I will put this star. Suppose I will say 3. Now the moment I will enter here, you can see here it is adding 3 li tag for me. So I can just focus on the writing the content. So let's say if it is India, Sri Lanka, and I can write something else over there. So if you'll see now our HTML file, how we can use this shortcut keys also, and this way also we will be able to add few of the things over there. Now suppose I will, let's say I have a my class. Let me just put my class over here and I will add one more paragraph tag on this. I will say this is my class. So if you'll see here, I have 3 class over there and I will right click. I will just click on this my class, any of this class. I'll right click and I will say change all occurrences. So if you'll see here now, I will modify over here in one, and it will modify on all this all these cases. So I will say demo class. You can see here now demo class, all these 3 places, everything written over there. So, and you can see here one, it is showing because one file is not saved. So if I'll say Control S, you can see here the symbol gone. So that means this file was not saved. It is saved now. So this is how you can add a couple of things on that. Now let me just show you that I will write something over here. For example, let's say I will add a button here. So suppose just a button alert box I will write. So we'll go here. I will say button, or you can also type input, anything you can write. So input type button. You can see here it is showing me what we want to create here. So I'll say button and then we can have a ID. So ID we will say button click, and then I will say the properties. So if we'll say name, you can give the name here. Sorry. So I will say name and I will put the same name button, suppose click, and if we'll put the end tag, you can see here now you can put end tag like this. So you can have a value. So you can see here I have a value. So I will say click here, and now if you'll see here, I can call a JavaScript function over there. So I will just press it. I will say on click. So it will show me the all these methods what are possible. And I will say, let's say click here. This is my JavaScript function. So now we have to write in the JavaScript here. So I'll go to my JS file and I will write a function here. So I will say function and I will give the name over here. Let me just copy from here, click here, and I will put it here. And then this is JavaScript syntax. So I will say, let's say alert hello world. And now you will see here our JavaScript is there, function is there, but we need to give a reference to this file. So I'll go to the head section. I can add a reference here. So I will say script and I will say source. So we need to provide the path name. So once you click on this, if I will say my, let me just show you. I will, you can see here, I just put the bracket and it show me all these files. So I can just click and then I can give the path here. So then we can have the end tag there. So script file is already there. Now how you can run it. So if you'll see here, normally there are, I told you various extensions are available over there. I will show you now what is the use of these extensions. So if you'll see here, let me just show you, click on this extensions, click on this. And once you click on this, it will show you all the extensions. So these are the extensions actually which are there in my particular Visual Studio Code. So I have a debugger for Chrome. There is HTML which I required for CSS, C Sharp, and then HTML snippet. View in browser is there. So this is the extension which is available to display things in the browser. Now let's say this is HTML file, and if I'll go here to our file, right click on that and then you will be able to see view in browser. Remember, if you have not installed that, then just that extension, then you will not, this option will not come. So you can just go there. How you can do this? You can go here and you can search for extension. Suppose I have already added this. Suppose I want to install something for Python development. So I will say Python, and you will be able to see a lot of extensions on that. You can see these many extensions are there. You can see the first one is 54.4 million downloads are already there on this. So a lot of editors are there. If I'll search for HTML, you will be able to see a lot of extensions are there for HTML. The snippet, HTML, CSS support, JS, CSS, HTML formatter. So a lot of things are there. And here also you can click on this and you will be able to see which are outdated extensions, which are enabled already, which are disabled, which is built-in extensions. And here you can also sort by install count, so that you will be able to know which extension is very popular and you can install that. So let's say I will say install count. You can see here it will show me which one having more count over there. You can see here this Vector has 16.9 million, Angular 8 snippet, this is 10.5, 6.1. So these are various this you can see here, and this HTML snippet is coming here because it is nearly 3 million downloads are there. Now this is how we can you will be able to work with the extensions. So I have already installed few of the extensions, so which I already showed you. So let me just remove it. So you can see here this HTML view in browser extension is there, and if you want to uninstall, if you want to disable, anytime you can go here, you can uninstall or you can disable it. So you will be able to disable it. So not only disable from the Visual Studio Code editor, you can also disable from workspace. So that thing is there. And here if you click on this contributions, you will be able to see few of the settings you can check out for each extension, because it is different from extension to extension. So this is how you will be able to know what this is doing, what this extension is all about, and you can just easily search for it and you will be able to add extensions over there. So if you'll see here, now coming back to our file, so let me click on this. So here you will be able to see all your folders files. this explore icon, and I'll right click on that. I will say view in browser. So once you click on view in browser, you can see here this is my HTML file looks like, and if I'll click on this, you can see here hello world is showing. And internally, if will I already showed you the folder structure, it will be having all these files inside this. From here also you can right click and open it, you'll be able to do that. Now coming back to here, so I showed you few of the things on this. Next I will show you how we can do little bit of things like few of the settings that you can change, or few of the few of the other things that you can process. One thing is, if you'll see there is a terminal is there. So if you'll go to view, and you can see here there is a terminal is there. So if we click on that, it will actually show us a command prompt. That means I don't need to open my command prompt in another editor. So it is, you can do this thing over here. We will do a lot of things on when we will read about TypeScript, but this one you will be able to create. Suppose I will say, let's say clear, so CLS, so you can see here clear everything. So this is basically the command prompt, that Windows command prompt you will be able to usually use, that you can do it here. So that means this is very much helpful, that you do not need to open our command prompt separately. Similarly, if you'll see a few other things that you can do is the settings, a few of the settings that we can do. A lot of time people usually say that theme. So before that, how we can open that search thing. So if you'll see here, there is view and there is a command palette is there. So if you'll click on this, you can see here it is showing me whatever the things are there. So I can search on this. For example, let's say I want to search something related to theme. So I will say theme. So once you click on theme, you can see here it is showing me a couple of things. One thing is the file icon theme, color theme, or general color theme from the current settings. So like these are there. So if I'll click on this, you can use your keyboard, down arrow, up arrow like this, or you can also put your mouse cursor. So click on that. So if you'll see here, once I click on theme, you can see it is showing me all these themes. Suppose I can go down and I will be able to see in the preview also. You can see here things are changing. So if I will change the theme, the color combination, you can see here it is dark is like this, dark default. So this is another theme. So you can see here it is come in red. And also you can have your own things, you can add it, or you can also extensions, you can use it. I personally like this Visual Studio Light theme, so I kept it like this. And the another one is the folder theme. Let me just show you that. So I'll go to view again, command, then I will say theme. If you'll see here, another one is the file icon theme, the second one. So if I'll click on this, you will see the file icons will get changed here. So suppose I will say this one, you can see the file, it is showing with the extension. It is a JS file, it is a CSS file, and this is something HTML file. So this file icon folder will be getting changed on that. So you will be able to see, or you will be able to see that theme over there. Now next, what we can do is there are also some language specific settings that you can do. So you can just go to, again, let me go to view and then command palette, and then here if I'll say, I will say settings. So if I'll click on settings, and you can see here general color theme settings, or there is a configure language specific settings. If I'll click on that, you can see here there are various languages that it supported, everything is there. So including your TypeScript, including your PHP, Perl, Makefile, all even a lot of things I even don't know. There is JSON, so all these settings are there. If I'll go and select, let's say C sharp, if I'll click on that, you can see a workbench, which theme it will take, TypeScript. So this kind of things that you will be able to change it also. Now let me go to the settings, and I will say this settings. So if you'll see here, now here you will be able to do some, let me just close it. You can able to do some of the settings change here. For example, the font size, you can make it to 15, 16, whatever you want to make. And you don't need to save also. It will just, you can just write it and it will automatically save it. and there are also cursor style, everything, this kind of settings you will be able to do. These are common used. And apart from that also there are text editor cursor. If you'll go to the text editor, these are the settings you will be able to see related to the text editor that we use. Formatting, you can see here, format on save, format on paste, format on save timeout. So after this millisecond it will do that. So this kind of settings that you will be able to change it. So this is how we can work with the Visual Studio Code. Remember, this is not an IDE. This is just an editor which you can use to edit things, and you have extensions which you can use to get those things which are not available over here, because by default it will be having support for HTML, JavaScript, your TypeScript, and, like this. So, but there are always extensions that are available. This is open source and you can easily use that. So during our next upcoming lectures also, we will see some more things when we will edit our web parts, things like that. But this is a basic that you should understand, and this is how it works. This is how we can create a file. This is how we can write some code. This is how we can structure the folder. You can create the workspace, and this will be, hopefully this demo, this is just a demo that you will be able to use Visual Studio by watching this introduction video. So next we will see some other things which are required for our SharePoint framework development.